Welcome to another deep dive. You know her name, you've seen the headlines, but how much do you really know about what's shaped Vice President Kamala Harris?
That's a good question.
Today, we're going beyond the surface to uncover the roots of a trailblazer. It's fascinating to connect the dots between her personal journey and her political career, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. We're diving deep into her
Hmm.
Biographia de Kamala Harris, to uncover some really insightful stuff about her life.
Okay, so let's start with her upbringing.
Sounds good.
Born in Oakland, California in 1964
Yeah.
to immigrant parents, a scientist mother from India, and an economist father from Jamaica. Harris's multicultural background. It's more than just a biographical detail.
Right.
Her upbringing, particularly her mother's activism, really instilled in her a strong sense of social justice, and from a very young age.
Yeah, think about that. This wasn't something she just learned about later in life. It was already a part of her, ingrained in her childhood.
Yeah, it's easy to forget, behind those groundbreaking first female VP, first African-American VP, first Asian-American VP, there's a story of really deep-seated values that were already there long before she was in the spotlight.
Absolutely. And those values, those early experiences, they become even more significant when you look at the path her career takes. Like, she chose to attend Howard University.
A historically black university.
Exactly. And that decision says a lot about her commitment to social justice. Wouldn't you agree?
I think it does. It shows a real intention there to be a part of and contribute to, an institution that has been at the forefront of the fight for equality for such a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And that commitment to equality, like you said, it becomes a driving force throughout her career, especially when she enters the world of law. She becomes a prosecutor, but not just any prosecutor.
Right. She could have gone a very different route, maybe focused on corporate law, even academia.
Yeah.
But she chooses to tackle these really tough cases.
Yeah, domestic violence, sexual abuse.
Exactly.
Those aren't just legal cases. They're windows into, bigger societal problems.
Absolutely. And that's what's so striking about her approach. She's not just prosecuting individuals, she's trying to use the law to address these larger issues, these systemic issues that often get overlooked.
So it's like she's seeing the people behind the cases,
Yeah.
recognizing the power imbalances and using the justice system to try to level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where her personal history and her professional choices really intersect. It's not just applying the law, it's advocating for people who are often marginalized, those who don't always have a voice.
It's like her life experiences are informing her work in a really direct way.
Absolutely.
And that drive to uplift the marginalized, it becomes even more apparent as she's, breaking those glass ceilings throughout her career,
Oh, yeah.
becoming the first woman and first person of color to be San Francisco District Attorney and then California Attorney General. Those aren't just titles, right?
No, those are huge.
Like a seismic shift in these institutions that haven't always been known for being inclusive.
Yeah, and it's like she recognized that real change isn't just about having a seat at the table, it's about changing what the table even looks like.
Reshaping the table. I like that. And she did that over and over again, breaking down barriers, not just for herself, but for everyone coming after her.
Exactly.
And feels like a natural progression then, going from the courtroom to the world of politics. As a U.S. Senator, she kept championing those same values of equality and justice, but now on a national stage.
Right.
But she didn't just want to be a voice in the Senate. She quickly became known for asking tough questions, holding people accountable, no matter their political party.
It's those prosecutorial instincts we talked about earlier. They're
Yeah.
front and center in those Senate hearings. She wasn't afraid to dig deep, to demand answers, even if it meant going against her own party sometimes.
Which is really saying something.
Yeah, it's that commitment to truth and justice. It defines her no matter where she is. And it becomes even more prominent when she decides to run for president in 2020.
Right.
Now, she may not have won the presidency,
Right.
but it was a huge moment in American history.
For sure.
For the first time, a woman of color, a daughter of immigrants, was a major party's nominee for the highest office in the country. It really was groundbreaking.
Yeah, and even though she didn't win,
Right.
her impact on the race, on American politics, undeniable.
Totally.
And it kind of paved the way for her to become vice president, under President Biden.
Exactly. And it's interesting because in this role as vice president, you see those years of experience, those core values all coming together.
So it all led up to this.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to see how she's taken on such a wide range of issues.
Oh, absolutely. From climate change to the economy to voting rights.
Yeah.
Right. And no matter the challenge, she brings that sharp mind, that commitment to social justice.
And, she's doing it all while dealing with all the complexities of being
Oh, for sure.
the first woman, first African American, first Asian American to hold this position.
Yeah, talk about shattering glass ceilings.
It really is amazing.
And it reminds you, representation, it matters.
It does.
Sometimes just seeing someone who looks like you in a position of power, that can be enough to spark change.
I totally agree. And, it's good to remember that behind the politics, Kamala Harris is a person too.
With her own life, her own
The
experiences.
biography talks about how her husband, Douglas Emhoff, he's the second gentleman in the United States.
Right, which really shows you how family and leadership roles are changing.
And she loves to cook, especially dishes that reflect her Indian and Jamaican heritage.
Those personal details make her journey feel relatable, don't you think?
Absolutely. It humanizes the position, like she's one of us.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the life and career of Kamala Harris, what stands out to you the most? Like, what's the common thread that runs through everything?
For me, it's that unwavering commitment to social justice, to equality. Prosecutor, senator, vice president, she's always used her position to fight for those who haven't had a voice, to fight for a fairer society.
That's powerful.
It really is.
Her story shows us that leadership isn't just about holding a title.
It's about action.
Yeah, it's about using your voice, your platform to make a real difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And for you listening, we hope this deep dive has given you a new understanding of what's made Vice President Harris the leader she is today.
There's so much more to her story than just the headlines.
Keep looking beyond those headlines. Consider her experiences, her values that drive for justice.
That's what shaped her journey.
That's what makes her story so remarkable.